Honda is effectively forfeiting their loyal fans.
Honda, okay, do you want a one-time purchase with all the people in the country, or do you want a multiple purchase over time, reoccurring revenue? Wake up.
Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB, the man who taught me how to mow. My dad, the Garage Geezer, is here to help me review the Honda gas lawnmower lineup. We're talking where Honda is headed, and be sure to stick around to the end of the video for a bonus mower.
All right, Garage Geezer, you ready to talk Honda mowers, yes or yes?
I'm back, yes, I'm ready to talk Honda motors.
Let's go. Now, I've actually never had this many Hondas in one place at one time, so I figured we gotta do a mega review of this.
This is probably more than the Honda Service Center ever gets.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this is too, they're used. So we can actually give some good feedback as to things that these mowers have experienced over time.
Yeah, real life use.
Now, I don't have every single Honda mower in the Honda lineup, but I did manage to get my hands on the most commonly purchased Honda mowers in their lineup.
Ones people are going to use.
Yes.
Tell me what you have right here with this one.
All right, so the first one up is the Honda HRN 216 VKA. It has a GCV 170 engine up top. It has a steel deck. Underneath is a dual blade cutting system, which does a really good job mulching up all the grass. And by the way, Honda has that on just about every single one of their mowers, all the mowers that we have here today. You have 8-inch wheels all the way around. I did have to retread these wheels because the back wheels do wear down.
I see the screws in them. And
yeah.
It seems to work well.
Yeah, and they're all plastic.
Yep.
So they do wear. You have a big gas tank, and this is a very fuel efficient engine. And after cutting 10,000 square feet, I still have about a quarter of a tank left of gas on this thing. So this is very inexpensive to run.
Same 4-in-1 like you have on other models where you mulch and partial mulch and all those?
Well, this is a 3-in-1. So on the side you have the mulch. You can shift the lever over to bag. And then it also has a rear discharge. So if I take off the bag, drop the panel down in the back, it's going to drop all the clippings right on top of your feet, which is kind of messy. It has a dual height adjustment system, one for the front, one for the back, and this is an accurate height adjustment system. So if it says 2.5, you're getting 2.5 from the blade to the ground.
And does it wobble at all?
This does not wobble at all. So if I push down on this, some mower decks have that deck bounce that really isn't so good. This one has none. Holds it tight. The bag on the back is a little small for this mower, but this is also a very lightweight mower, so this mower can fly. It does bounce around a little bit just because of the lightweight. And then up top here, Garage Geezer, it's got the smart drive control. You simply just push down with your thumbs, and away you go. All right, so Garage Geezer, what do you like about this mower?
Honestly, I like the bag itself. I think it's a good size. I don't know, it could be bigger, it depends on your lawn. I do like the pull assembly out in here. That's a nice place where you're just not having to always drag yourself around and come back
and reach down to the engine.
Some of the older models, you have to go all the way down there, stick your foot on top of it, give it a yank, and then come back all the way around this way and do whatever you need to do. I like this part as far as the smart drive system, where you can control it. I honestly think that this would be pretty good.
It's simple.
But I will tell you one thing. I also like setting it at one pace and let her go.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've noticed with this mower is when you push down, you may be starting at one speed at the start of your lane, but by the time you get to the end of your lane, you're at a whole nother speed.
Oh, that's what I mean. And
you could be going faster or slower.
Well, that's what I mean. You could be varying about how far you go.
Yeah, so you could be doing this down your lawn.
Yeah, maybe a younger person or whatever, but for an older person, you want some level of consistency. And you see these people with, they're racing all over the place, the younger ones, but the older ones are going, okay, let's push it, and all that. So that may be an issue. I don't know.
It could be for some. What else do you like about it?
On all the Honda mowers, I do like the gas tank being nice and big. I love that.
That's got a big mouth on it.
It does.
I mean, look at that.
And
That's huge.
It's hard to miss it.
Yeah.
One thing I'm not sold on it is adjusting one side. I had a mower a long time ago, and you remember as a really small little boy, but I like the Troy Bill turn all raises and lowers and all that kind of stuff.
And that one kept it solid.
It was solid as a rock.
It does hold tight, and we'll add that to your grinding your gear list for this mower.
And to help this video not grind any gears with the YouTube algorithm, would you mind hitting that like button? Thank you.
I like when you got to tip this over and do an oil change on it, real important, the oil assembly.
The oil spout.
The oil spout itself.
Yep.
And on mine that I have, when I have to tip it over,
yeah,
it doesn't reach all the way to the pan I've got to keep on adjusting the pan, trying to move it over to make sure
It's a stubby.
It's a stubby. It's a little stubby, and you're trying to dump the thing out, and you're dumping it on the deck.
Right.
And I don't want that. So this one, if you were to tip it over,
it's got a nice long spout.
You're definitely tipping it over onto the pan.
Exactly.
Other part I do like the ability to be able to move this, to close it up.
Yeah.
You know, just by moving these poor guys.
A quick flip.
And boom, and you're starting to move it. If I move the other side,
and you're
folding it up.
And you're folding it down.
That's really good. It's real simple. It doesn't have a lot of things around it. The thing that is still a problem, because I've bumped into these things a long time ago, where the air filter, if you hit a tree, you start hitting trees, low-lying evergreens, the branches and stuff like that, you can catch an evergreen on one of these tabs, and you'll rip this thing right off.
And then it gets sucked under.
It gets
shredded to pieces.
You know, shredded.
And that's it. It's game over for your air filter.
It's game over, and then you're riding without a cap on top of your air filter. So those are things that these are how people use it.
So that grinds your gears. We'll say that. That's another one that grinds your gears.
That one grinds my gears.
Me too.
But this one here, like everything about this, it's very easy. It is lighter than even when I've got it home. I mean, I've got I've had mowers forever, and some of them heavy steel, gauge steel on the deck, and motors themselves have gotten lighter and lighter.
Yep. This is only about 70 plus pounds, so it's not that heavy.
Not bad at all.
And I mean, this is a budget mower, but I would say this is probably the best budget mower that's out there, because you get a quality engine. It's not going to guzzle gas. You get a good cutting system underneath, a decent deck, good handlebars, good drive system.
Comfortable. This is also comfortable. So from a standpoint of, hey, would I be using this? I don't think I would change the upper or lower. This is perfect for me walking along. What
grinds my gears is I wish they did have rubber wheels on this. I do wish they had that, because these can wear down so fast. I mean, this is a $600 mower here.
But if you want to spend $600, you know the engine, it's a Honda, it's not going to break.
Right.
That part's not going to go.
It's going to last.
It's going to last. So you're investing $600, you're putting gas on oil, and you're done.
Now, one other thing that grinds my gears with this mower is the handles that you mentioned that you like, how you can just flip these and the whole handlebar assembly folds down. Well, these little locks on the side, over time they give out. So after like 10 years, you know, the constant torquing of the handlebars does start to wear on them. So
you are going like that.
Yes.
You can see the movement, and that's locked in.
Yep.
So that, I mean, that's going against steel, steel against steel against steel.
Something's going to break it.
Or you're going to snap, because there's weakened points. Every time you're playing with in essence white metal, it's called white metal.
Yeah.
Anytime you're playing with that up in this area, you could actually start to develop a crack, because you're moving it
and torquing and twisting.
A lot of trees. You're going around a lot of things, going around a lot of bricks and stuff like that.
Yep.
You're constantly going like that, and you're going to hurt that handlebar, and those are expensive to replace.
On to the next.
Here.
On to the next.
Tell me about this one.
Here we have the Honda HRX 217 VKA, and this is basically the next tier up in the Honda lawnmower lineup. And this one has a GCV 200cc engine up on top, a bit more powerful. It does drink a little bit more gas compared to the 170, but it can still manage to get my whole 10,000 square foot lawn done with some remaining fuel in the tank. Underneath that, we have their Nexite deck. Yep, it's plastic, but a very durable plastic. And you actually saw
a very different plastic. Years ago, I saw Honda driving a car up on top of, they have to take off the wheels because you collapse the wheels.
Right.
A pure deck, virgin deck.
Just a deck.
And no motor, no nothing. They drove a car up on it, and it did not break the deck.
That's pretty wild.
I mean, you're thousands of pounds, so I mean, you can tell this thing's gonna last.
Yeah, and a lot of people are concerned, like, oh, I have a plastic deck. What if I hit a rock or something like that? Well, first off, are you normally mowing over rocks? That's where do you mow rocks?
You shouldn't.
But you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go over any like patio stones or anything like that.
Good rule of thumb.
Yeah, good rule of thumb. But I've hit little pebbles and things like that with this, and they'll bounce around just like they will with any mower deck, but you're not going to see any damage. You might see a scratch or something underneath, but beyond that, it's fine.
They have a tendency to be easy to clean too.
Yeah.
And no rust. No
yeah,
rust.
Exactly. We have a 4-point height adjustment system for all 4 wheels. The wheels are 9 inches with a rubber tread and ball bearings inside. Again, dual cutting blades underneath. On the back, you have a bigger bag with 4 methods of mowing with this, which is a phenomenal feature. No other mower has this.
You never know what season you're in. You never know how much if you can cut the grass because it's really, really long. And you can't mulch, so you maybe do half and half. You can do a lot of things with this thing.
Exactly. Ego Mowers, the battery company, they're copycatting this. And theirs isn't as special as this one. This one has multiple points that you can put it in for mulching or bagging.
This one's forgiving because if you want to go a third, if you want to go a half, if you want to go 2/3.
It's got many increments.
Yeah, you either send it all to the bag,
send a lot to the bag.
I'm a big mulcher, so I'm not a bag user.
Yeah.
And I'm almost constantly on a mulch type.
But if you wanted to, you could go bagging on a little bit.
If my grass was long enough, I would.
Yeah. So there you go. You can mulch, bag, rear discharge, which again will get your feet a little bit dirty, and you can go a little bit in between.
Yep.
So you can do a little bit of both, which is pretty cool. And up top, the drive system, we have the Honda Select Drive where you can push down with your thumbs or your palms, and you can adjust the speed of this by simply turning the dial. And this does, you know, increase or decrease the speed of the mower pretty significantly with each click, and it draws it further away or closer to the handlebars for your level of comfort. All right, so that was the quick overview of the HRX 217 VKA. What do you like about it, Garage Geezer?
What do I like? Pull cord being on the handle, I like that. I like the big gas tank.
Sure.
Being wider,
it's convenient.
Certainly helps. As I said, I'm a mulch guy, so being on my almost 100% of the time it's on mulch. I will move it to bag when I want to clean it.
With the Versamo.
With the Versamo. I like the wheels being able to move to a certain degree. And when I say certain degree, they're numbered.
Yeah.
I have one lawnmower, and it's an electric one. Hate to say it, but it is. For a small yard, I never know where I'm at. I have to count the number of spaces in between. Just it sounds crazy.
They didn't number it off.
It's not numbered off. It sounds crazy, but I go, okay, and the back is different than the front, and I go, no more. I like that the red housing covers everything, that you're not seeing anything spinning.
So if you go under a bush or a low tree, you're not catching anything.
Exactly. You're just going in, and it's actually it's got a swoop to it as well, so the tree rides up the lawnmower even if you have to.
Protects the engine.
And I got a lawnmower that has, guess what? It's got open areas. Guess what happens? Needles go in there, you name it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's making noise, ticking noises, all that kind of stuff. I like this deck. I like the deck, number one, because I know it's durable. I saw it on a video. But the way I look at it, it's easy to clean.
Oh yeah.
You can't knock it. It's easy to clean.
There are a few spots underneath the deck that have little channels and crevices.
Every one of them has something.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, you stick a scraper in there or a screwdriver in there, clean it out, move it on, and dry it out in the yard. You're good. The speed control, I think it's something you got to feel for.
You more so prefer the cruise control where you lock it in at one speed and you go.
Yeah, I'm a cruise guy.
I like that too with the other mowers.
I want to set it and forget it, and a lot of them have the on the side kind of thing where, hey, this is where I want to be now, because I can just reach over there. If I want to go faster on a straightaway, I can push it real hard. If I know that I'm hitting a bunch of trees, bricks are in the way, stuff is going to be away, or I've got to go in a small area.
Put it on speed 1.
I slow it down and I'm going, okay, and then I can do it one-handed and I'm moving it around.
Yeah.
I might be comfortable with this. It's just not me right now.
Need more time with it.
Yeah, the bag.
Gotta take her on a date one of these days.
Take her on a date. Those days are over. So I look at the bag, and the bag is big. For folks that need to have a lot and they want to bag.
Yeah.
Great.
Plenty big enough.
The spring loaded. I know this guy's spring loaded, and so you shut that thing down, you're good. I like the rubber piece on the bottom.
The flap.
The flap that's on the bottom. Is rubber. It's not plastic.
And they last.
And it's going to go a long way.
They hold up.
Same handlebars as the other one did, where you can turn it and flip it over and
fold it down.
Overall, good unit, solid unit.
So here's a quick peek underneath this HRX 217 VKA. You can see it's all plastic, a few little scratches, not too bad. And this mower actually belongs to my neighbor Brian down the street. And this has 2 seasons on it. And you can see the plastic's holding up just fine.
That's what I mean. It's a solid unit.
Massive.
Scuff or 2 here. Other than that, that's about it. Because he scraped against something. That's fine.
Yeah.
But overall, it's in pretty good shape.
And you got the dual cutting system underneath.
Let me move something for you and let the folks watch.
Yeah.
So I'm on mulch right now. Even though the bag is on, I'm on mulch right now. This is going to the full bag position.
So there you go.
Let's see how it moved.
So now you can see that we can basically reach our arm through.
Yep, and
to go to the bag.
You're going right into the bag unit itself.
Yeah.
Here's other things. Solid. This is steel.
That's a solid metal transmission.
I mean, you're not going to get this on a value lawnmower.
Yeah.
Here, this is
a rubber flap.
Rubber flap that doesn't. It's going to last for it's hard to rip rubber unless you really do some damage to it. The mechanism, you got a belt inside, and that is engaged by the transmission here.
Yep.
And you can't see in here, but I'm reaching in here and actually touching the same belt that's moving over there. So very visual. Flip it over. Gee, my belt ripped or something, and
you can see what's going on.
You can see what's going on. Okay, what am I supposed to do with it? And I'm sure you've made a video or will make a video on that.
Oh yeah,
After
clean
2
up
years,
well.
This is 2 years of moving it or not moving it.
Yeah.
However he does, and
everything's
working fine after 2 years.
That's it. All right, Garage Geezer, what grinds your gears with this model?
Well, because I've had similar models and stuff like that with other engines and stuff like that. Anytime I'm going to go under a tree, what am I going to catch? What can I catch the tree on this mower? So what's going to grab it? I'm looking at the air filter is the biggest one. It could pull that cover right off and actually hurt the construction of it, and you'll be ordering a new one.
Yeah.
So that's one piece. Another piece that, again, these things, you are dealing with white metal on the handle. They have a tendency to break. I've seen them break. Speed control, again, getting used to this, and being an old school guy, I'd like to use it and try it.
And get used to it.
And get used to it, and it's probably perfectly fine.
It's not a long list. You almost have to look for things.
I'm struggling to find anything that I don't like. Let's change the color.
Let's change the color, yeah. They could black it out or do something fancy with it.
Black or something, racing stripes.
Chrome wheels.
Black on the wheels. Got to black on the wheels. So,
all right.
Overall, other than that, that seems like a solid machine.
There we go. On to the next model.
Next model. Let's go.
All right.
Which one's this one now?
All right. So here we have the Honda HRX 217 VYA, and the reason that you buy this model is for the roto stop or the blade stop. It has a lot of all the same features that you just saw on the HRX 217 VKA, so everything pretty much carries over. You still get the same 200cc engine, Nexite deck, dual blades, 9-inch wheels. All of it's the same down here. Where it really matters is up here, and you get a couple of added features. So up top, what really sets this mower apart from the VKA, well, up top, a long since forgotten throttle control. You don't really see this on a lot of mowers nowadays.
No, you don't see it very much, and you have to stop it pushing it all the way this way, or full throttle all the way that way.
So now over here we have the roto stop. You can push down on the yellow button
while
pulling back, and that will engage the blades. That'll get everything underneath the deck spinning. So that's a really nice feature to have, and the engine doesn't shut off when you let it go.
Big feature.
Yeah, big feature. So if you got an obstacle in your way, you can go and move it, come back, pull your lever back, and you're going again. Pretty cool. Same drive system up on top with the Honda Select Drive. Pretty simple. Push down with your thumbs or your palms.
Or some minimal adjustment in here. For slower, faster on how you walk.
And away you go. All right, Garage Geezer, this mower has 11.2 hours on it as of right now.
Stuck in the .2.
Yeah. So what do you like about it?
The most important thing to me is blade control.
Yeah.
I really like the blade control. I shut it off, it's still running.
Yeah.
You're not pulling it again. And again, you got a bad shoulder, a smaller person, you're not pulling it again. Let's pull it back, release it, move something, come back to it.
Or, yeah, maybe you got a lot of obstacles in your yard. A lot of stuff, kids' toys.
Trees, a lot of kids' toys.
It's a great way to kind of get around that problem of having to restart it 100 times in a single cut.
The plastic deck, which again, we know that's durable. Again, you're still looking at the same things of the 4 individual height adjusters. The bigger bag, that's good. This particular one, you added the striper, which you can accommodate that very easily, and that would be this unit in here.
A lot of people ask about that. They say, what's that bracket on the bottom?
It's a very different kind of thing.
Still,
again, the handlebars are the same thing. I would wonder, you know, with all this on here, maybe that strengthens it because you're holding it tighter.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's it. I do like the weight distribution. That's a nice piece.
It is a bit heavier, so it holds its track a little bit better.
Under that first one, it was a little lighter, even though it had a metal deck. This one's still much more beefier and a little bit longer.
This one,
and for me, being a smaller guy, this is perfect for me. Going down the tracks.
This mower weighs somewhere right around 100 pounds, depending on the features that you get put on it. I noticed this one goes a bit straighter, and if you got a bumpy lawn, you're gonna see a lighter weight mower kind of bouncing around like an 8-foot kayak in an ocean. You know, it's getting tossed all over the place. But if you got one that's a little heavier, a little longer,
it's less likely. less
yeah,
likely.
it's less likely.
Because it stays truer, grass is going to look like this when you're going past.
It's going to be a nice level cut.
More level cut.
Okay, Garage Geezer, now what grinds your gears with the VYA model?
This blade control, I have a plastic unit here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything plastic, I don't care if it's a snowblower or lawnmower,
right.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
They're subject to something,
right.
wear and breakage. So have you seen any problems with these things?
Yes, I have actually. So when I first purchased this, the very first mow, this blade engagement system conked out 5 times.
While mowing?
While mowing.
Okay.
And
so
I was
like, run down the track,
it just stops.
Maybe it bounces a little bit and all of a sudden it stops.
Yes. So I was like, well, what the heck? I just spent, you know, the extra money to get this feature and it's not working. And some other people brought this up to my attention as well, some other subscribers. Well, what was happening was, it's hard to see, but this little handlebar nub that sticks into this rotostop device here at the top wasn't sticking in far enough.
It's actually coming out.
Yeah, and
So
there's
it had a little movement more this way.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
There's basically like a hook inside this rotostop mechanism, and then you have this handlebar nub that sticks in, and it has to catch.
Yep.
And then when you pull back, it pulls on that hook, pulling the cable to engage the blades at the bottom. So what ended up happening was it was barely touching that hook, and it was just slipping out. So in order to correct that and fix that, what I did is I took the blade handle and I took it off and I stretched it out.
You hulk them.
Yeah, I hulked it and I stretched it out. And so that way it's got more spring to it when it's pressed inside these handlebars. And it basically forced that nub to go further inside into the hook.
Yep.
And you can kind of see it inside this crevice here. You could see it was engaging much better. And since I did that, not a single problem since.
As I look down, I spotted one thing.
What's that?
You have a stop, you have a turtle,
Yep.
and you have a
High speed.
And that's only controlling engine speed. So what happens when you hit something like a tree?
Oh, I hit it a lot actually.
And it goes from there to all the way stop.
Yep.
Engine shuts down, it's going to go down much faster because you have the blades engaged.
Right.
And you got to start the whole process of, let's do this, whoop, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this.
Right.
And hold this down as you're doing it as well.
In most cases I found, like when I hit my evergreens on the side, it'll knock the throttle back to the slow speed.
Yeah.
It really doesn't push it to stop. I haven't had that happen yet, but it does knock it back. So then I just, you know, slam it back up.
You have any trees in your yard?
I have the 2 evergreens on the side,
have
and I
the
gotta get
evergreens.
around those.
You got to get around those. Yeah,
So-
that's true. I've got a lot of evergreens and other trees and small branchy trees.
If I go on this side of the trees, I catch the throttle. If I go on this side, I catch my pull cord.
Yep.
So I don't want to do that. So I'd rather have it catch here on this side with the throttle and just bump it back, but I can always push that back up.
Okay. I don't know how many people are going to run on a turtle anyway.
No. Anything else?
Nope. I think
We're
we're
good. On to the next.
On to the next. What do we have here with this one?
All right, so now this one came to us from a good friend of mine, a long-time subscriber to the channel, Jay Booth. So thank you, Jay Booth, for letting us borrow your Honda mower here. This is the Honda HRX 217 HYA. This is one of their higher tier mowers here. We'll get to some of the features here that really kind of separate it, but all in all, the engine, the deck, everything's still the same all the way down to the VKA model. Not much has changed down here. What really sets this one apart is the hydrostatic transmission. This transmission is basically bulletproof. I've seen this transmission on older models just last and last and last without any wearing out. And what's nice about it is you set one speed up here and it goes at that consistent speed, almost like you're in cruise control.
So no hand thing here.
Yeah, there's no hand mechanism, there's no personal pace of any kind, there's nothing like that. It just locks it at one speed and away you go.
If it's going too fast, you can just slow it down.
Yep.
You need it a little bit more.
You can feel the difference in the gears in the 9 different speeds that it has. And so if you set it from 7 to 6, you feel a noticeable decrease in speed. Up top in the box, you also have a throttle control, and this is also where you shut off the mower. It's got the double bale design up top, one for the blade control and then one for the speed. Works all the time.
Doesn't fail.
Down here at the bottom, you still get the 200cc engine, you get the Nexite deck, you get the Versamo where you can go between mulching and bagging in varying increments. You get the rubber wheels, 4-point height adjustment all the way around, bagging, you're good to go. All right, so Garage Geezer, what do we like on the HYA?
Well, number one is so shiny. It's got 1 hour on it.
That's
I don't think he's getting it back.
yeah, he might have. Yeah, Jay might have to pay up.
Okay, the handlebars, they just are at the right height.
Yep.
I like that. This part though, this is the part I like.
Yeah,
I honestly,
you like it.
I want to set my pace and say, okay, I'm going to go at X amount of miles per hour.
They go 0 to 4 miles per hour.
So
that's what you can do.
I'm going 3 miles an hour. So right now it's set for 3. I do like the idea. I can simply turn it off. This particular lever is smaller than the previous model.
Yes.
And less likely to be caught, because this one, if anything, is going to be caught, and the only thing you're going to slow down. Part that I like is you do
push down on the yellow button.
Push down, but watch how I'm going to hold it.
So you can see here how the Garage Geezer's holding this. He pushed the yellow button down,
and it's down.
Holding that bar down. That's your blade control.
And let me go back to holding that, because that's important. Now the clutch, so if I want to stop it from moving, but I still want blade control, I've just stopped it from moving, and I still have blade that it's spinning.
Still cutting.
And I can turn it and shift it, and then do this and
you're driving
and grab. So I'm holding with one hand, doing with this one, and she's going. And if I'm going down the track, I can let this hand rest.
Yeah.
And I'm not thumbing it.
Right.
So I think that's, to me, old school, I think that's a real important.
But also, you can adjust your speed. So if you want to let go of the clutch, you can adjust your speed.
I'm going down to 2. I'm going to 1. I'm going to 4 because I'm doing a long straightaway.
Right.
And I'm out there. So leave it back at 3.
Yep. And then you can just push your clutch back up.
I want to turn it off. I'm there. Or if I want to stop it first and turn it off, I do that and then turn it off.
Pretty simple.
Take a look at the structure. This is very good thought process.
It's nice and tight.
It's nice and tight. All the cable, and what you want is these things like this, so they don't catch on any trees, fences, anything.
Yeah.
And it's all inside of the wheels.
Right.
If I looked at this, and you put the camera right in front of there, everything is set back.
The wheels are here, the cables are here.
Exactly. They're all set back this way. The wheels are over here. And that's what you want.
Nothing's hanging out.
Nothing's hanging out.
What I really wanted to point out was the hydrostatic transmission. Take a look at that thing. That is so beefy. That is a beefy transmission. That looks like it's going to hold up forever.
And honestly, the difference in cost between this kind of model and maybe even the previous model, at the end of the day, it's not that much.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to use it for multiple years and potentially a decade or 2,
yeah,
you want something like this. You don't want to have to replace this, or you're replacing a whole darn mower,
right?
Which is costing you more.
When you look at something like the Echo mower that I just reviewed, or a Toro, every single one of those has a plastic transmission. Over time, they're just not going to last.
If you've lived long enough, and many probably your subscribers have, one of the things they've seen is a transition between everything was rock solid. Your snowblower videos and all the old stuff was so everything was metal and it's over designed, and then you start getting into way too much plastic, and it's designed for fail, and it's designed for hey, go out and get another one. It's disposable.
Yeah,
this thing's not disposable. I don't care if you're looking at this. You drive a car on it. That's not disposable.
Right.
This is not disposable. If you can see inside of here, everything is rock solid. Clutch,
it's well built.
It's well built.
I think what we have with the cheaper mowers is the case of the accountants kind of running the show and not the engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With any accountant, I don't care.
You hear that, Honda?
Pay attention.
All right, Garage Geezer. What grinds your gears with the HYA? I got one thing, but I want to hear what you think.
Well, I think still the weak part of the whole engine is still the air filter. We found that in every one.
Yep.
And it's been generations now.
Yes.
Different models, and it doesn't matter how much you spend.
It's still there.
It's still the same air filter across all of them.
Right.
Same thing. I would wonder if this is going to be a problem in here with the blade control. Why? Because when you push down, you've got springs and you've got cabling that are all torquing on each other.
Quite a bit of it.
And some of that's going to stretch out over time. And so when you do that, will this pop up? I can tell you from experience that's going to pop up. And this is going to spread out. Springs are going to just lengthen a little bit. Cabling is, you got a single tiny cable and you're pulling and yanking on it, and sure, that's going to stretch out over time.
It's going to take a long time,
but it's going to take
we're talking like 10 years or more.
Or even more. It's still a rock solid machine. You still have the plastic, you still have the white metal handlebars.
They're minor in comparison to other problems that other mowers may have.
I mean, if I have to worry about those little minor things, and we have to really have that discussion of, wait a minute, I really can't find all that much wrong with it, except these minor things. I think you got a darn good mower.
I think so. Now, one thing that grinds my gears with this mower is the speed of the transition to get this mower moving. So what I would do is I would engage the blade, and if you have a lot of turns, and I've mentioned this before, if you have a lot of turns in your yard, this is probably not going to be the mower for you, because you're constantly doing this, and this is just slow. So slow to engage. Now you could put the speed up, yes, but this is just going to get annoying over time. That's where I would say if you had a lawn with more trees, probably something like the paddle system would be better because it's quicker. It's just boom, you push it with your thumb, whereas this one you're doing more of an arm motion to get this thing up to speed.
A slightly different perspective. The push one with the thumbs might allow you to ease into it.
Yes. This is probably not the ideal mower if you have a lot of obstacles in your way. So definitely a good mower though if you have lots of long straightaways. All right, so now, Garage Geezer, we got something special to share, a bonus mower. Let's bring it out.
Okay, let's go.
All right, Garage Geezer, what do we have here?
Well, this time I can take over on that part.
Okay.
This is my mower. I bought this mower in 2009, and I will tell you, I bought it because it was on my bucket list. You know, best mower, best chainsaw, best this, best that. And I really wanted a mower that, you know, I knew was going to last well into my senior years. And this has proved it. This thing now 16 years old. It was top of the line. There wasn't anything higher, to the best of my knowledge. There was, at least in the United States, so there wasn't anything better.
Just so we're clear here, this is a Honda HRX 217 HYA.
Yeah.
So
I ordered it in from Home Depot, and that's what came in a box and I assembled.
So as of the filming of this video, this mower is 16 years old. All right, so as we get a closer look at this mower, now being 16 years old, the Nexite deck, it's still all there.
Got a few scratches.
It's got a few scratches.
I have a chain link fence, so it's going to go along the chain link fence.
It's faded. It's custom faded.
Custom faded.
Custom faded. The height adjusters still work. They're a little tight to move. They probably just could use a little lubrication.
Lubrication, yep.
Other than that, the deck is still all there. The engine up top is a GCV 190cc engine. This is their former model.
A little smaller.
A little smaller, but still equally as efficient and powerful. It still cuts great. And this model has the electric start, which
you can see this
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And it stopped, maybe stopped about 5 years ago, but I said, you know what? Every time I pull this mower, on the first or second pull, she starts right up, and it's not a hard pull.
And I have seen that electric start work after the mowers ran, after being pulled manually.
It gets a little bit of a baby charge.
Yeah. So. It just gets a little bit of enough spark to get going. The wheels on this are the same. They haven't changed them over the decades. They're just worn. They last. When you get rubber wheels like this.
They've never been replaced.
They've never been replaced.
They've never been replaced.
So,
and still you got just barely a little bit of thread in the back because that does all the hard work, spinning.
So it's held up over all these years.
And my lawn has a kind of like a grade to it going back because it's got an easement in the back. So it actually goes down like this. So if this guy goes down one way, I'm not even using
the transmission.
I'm not even using the transmission because I'm just letting it basically
moseying
walk its way.
Gravity's
but
doing
the other way up, she's tugging a tugboat.
Right.
Or moving a big ship on the way up.
You love this mower.
I love this mower.
And what have you found by using this mower for this long or this length of time?
Well, it's number one, it's consistent. I don't ever pretty much adjust the height of it. If I turn this thing up, over, and you actually saw the bottom, it's the same two blades. It's the
same shape deck.
The hardcore transmission that's in this that you just saw in the other ones.
Right.
All that is pretty much the same. Over time, it gets bumps and bruises. It's going to. Why? Because you're using it. You're cutting 30 times a year. A season times 16 years. You can do the math on it.
Right.
And most mowers today aren't even going to get close to that unless you're a Honda. And to me, I'm a Honda guy. I always keep it on mulch. This is the same as it was 16 years later into the newer models. What's changed is up in this area.
The smooth design.
The smooth design, because I will tell you, anytime I'm pushing it under evergreen, the evergreen needles get into it. They don't necessarily fall off.
You can actually see the sap on here.
Clicking, and there's sap on it. There's sap on the front of it. There's a piece of sap right there.
Yeah. Yep.
The oil spout in this particular unit, and I'll shift this around, make it easy. The oil spout, make sure you can see it.
Yep.
The oil spout is much shorter. So when I go and tip it and try to do it, she bleeds over to here. And I have to wipe that off almost constantly.
Onto the deck.
What I have replaced, I'm going to move it for a little second here, is the filter. I did catch it on an evergreen, and it just ripped this whole section apart. And luckily it happened at the end of the season, and I said, okay, well, I'll just get it done over the winter and get it done. Height adjusters, they do get stiff.
Yes.
And they're hard to move. Especially if you haven't moved it and you haven't oiled it and stuff like that. Sorry, I didn't oil it. Yep. The other part is this moves okay at different times after I've used it a couple of times,
it's packed with grass.
It gets packed with grass. And
okay.
You got to clean it out up inside there.
Sure.
But you can see that they did the same design in through here, but these have loosened up over time, and I do catch those.
Okay.
Now,
the cables.
The biggest bugaboo, couple big bugaboos. These handlebars used to work exactly the same way as the other ones.
Right.
Where you had the plastic gray part out on the side, and you flip both sides, and you could tip it over.
So these ones you've changed.
We had to modify it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I got one of the early stage handlebars, and they didn't have the right design, didn't have the right part numbers, nothing matched. When I ordered it per the part number, I got something like I had to adapt these things and drill holes and send it through the handlebar, and it actually adopted where I have had to change it. So now it doesn't fold over anymore unless I take it apart, and I only do that once every year, which is at the end of the season, and then put it back on the other part of the season. Again, I do catch this on trees and evergreens. They'll slow me down, but that's the worst part. This guy's, the battery's underneath here.
You know what?
You can see
the electric starts on any mower. After like a couple of years, you could charge them, you can do this and that, but they eventually give out.
But isn't that saying the same thing with all the battery-operated things that we've been talking about in a lot of your videos and how long things last? Yeah. What do you think's going to happen with a battery?
It's going to die.
I thought I was doing the right thing. 16 years ago, oh, it's a slick thing. Have a battery start. Yeah. Even the spouse can turn the thing, go and maybe it'll start. But you can see how many times also that if you look at this thing closely, it's all bent because guess what? I catch it on stuff. This level pushing this down, and if I try to do this too fast and go forward, this baby, if I do it too fast, so I have to go.
Ease it in.
There, it just did it right now. It just slipped right now. Okay. So if I push down, now it stayed in, and then I can go. So there's a perfect example.
You gotta watch that thing.
You do, but you get, it's one of those things you just get used to. This was my bucket machine.
Your bucket buy.
My bucket buy, and I love it. So the moral of the story is, what's the thing that is broken on this? The handlebars, electric start, because
it just gave out.
Battery, it just doesn't have it. But the remainder of the rest of the unit
is all there.
Is solid. I cut, it works. I don't have a problem. I stick it in the shed again, and that's all I need to do.
This is what Honda.
They built their reputation on this kind of thing. You know what? We're going to build something that doesn't fail. That was their motto. Really, quality was their motto, and durability. I know you got ideas of where they're heading, and I'm concerned with where they're heading because this was my bucket one. Maybe I need a second bucket. Second bucket list to get the next one, but this is already 16 years old. I think it could probably last another 10 more years.
A mower like this that's so overbuilt, that's the reason why you buy a mower like this. Because it lasts. And you know, when people want a mower that's going to last them 5, 10, 15, and 20 years and beyond, this is the mower that's going to give it to them. You paid $950. $950 over the course of 16 years. What's the math on that per season? What's it costing you to mow your lawn? $60, something in that neighborhood?
Around $60.
Around $60 a season to cut your lawn.
59 something to actually.
And every year you hold it, it's even less.
And like I have to buy gas and I have to buy oil, and I change it once a season. You know, just
if that's even $40 per season. If that.
If that, it doesn't. I do my whole lawn, and I like you said you did a 10,000 square foot. I still have. I can cut it twice almost. Yeah. If I don't get to every nick and cranny and go around trees as much, I can literally cut my lawn twice with this thing. Why would you invest in something that you got to keep on putting batteries in? And I also have an electric one.
And you've seen what that mower's gone through. You've had it for 5+ years.
I have a place in Maine, and it's now 7 years old. I have 4 batteries and 3 chargers. I now have 3 out of my 4 batteries that are weak. I sometimes get 3
or 4 passes, and then
3 or 4 passes and it's gone. And I go, I don't want to invest in another one. Is the mower still good? Yes, the mower's still good. It's light. Yes, it's not self-propelled like some of these newer ones are. Yeah. It's Jeff-propelled. But I don't want to invest in another battery.
And if you were to resell that mower, you're not going to get a lot to sell it because somebody's got to go and buy the battery for it. So where is Honda headed from here? Well, I've had 2 phone conversations with 2 different Honda representatives, and both told me that Honda is officially done as of September 2023 now, making gas-powered mowers here in the U.S. What's their plan? They're going battery. That's what they're doing. So they're going that route. Now, why are they going that route? It's not about hugging trees. It's not about the environment. It's about the money. Follow the money. So let's break this down. This Honda HRN is $600.
$600.
$600 gets you a really quality budget mower here,
which will probably last
equally as long as that.
Equally as long my 16-year Honda.
Now, Honda, their cheapest battery mower coming out, and you can check this out on their website, is $900. Okay. That's basically this model with a battery motor on top. It comes with an 8 amp hour battery that only gives you 30 minutes of runtime. If you got a smaller lawn...
You need 2 batteries.
Well, if you got a smaller lawn, you could probably get away with maybe one.
Well, anything bigger than a smaller, you need 2 batteries.
Yeah, you're going to need 2 batteries. And then I'm hearing that the new batteries, the 12 amp hour batteries for these mowers, are going to run in the neighborhood of $500. So now you're taking this same mower that costs you $600, now it's $900, plus a $500 battery. This is a $1,400 mower. I mean, we're starting to push into commercial grade price points
2.5 times, almost 2.5 times.
Yeah, that's a very expensive way to mow your lawn. When you start breaking that down price per cut over the course of 10 years, which that battery probably won't last that long, let's be honest here, you're looking at $140 a season to mow your lawn with a battery that's going to fail at some point.
And you haven't put a striper on it like this one has the capability of a striper. That's extra 20 pounds you're gonna move.
Yeah.
There is no way that thing is gonna make 16 years.
No way.
This one will make 16 years. This one will cost you, I don't know, $30, not counting gas.
So
to do your yard, 10,000. How many batteries are you gonna need?
Oh, I would easily need 2.
2 batteries. So now you're $1,400. If you stripe, you're probably going to burn through an extra quarter of that battery.
And initially, everybody's going to say, "Well, the batteries are going to last. I've had the mower for a year or 2, and the battery's fine." Yeah, for the first year or 2.
Well, here's my experience with the Echo ones, and again, earlier batteries, better technology now. That's fine. The state of Maine, I got my house in there. It has 4 batteries. I have 3 chargers. I'm rotating them all the time. I'm constantly walking back and forth to the garage.
Wasting time doing that.
And oh, by the way, I'm charging them in the summer in the garage, in the basement in the winter because it's too darn cold outside. So now you got that other, now you're worrying about moving stuff around. I don't move my gas can around.
And potentially blowing up your garage with a battery that could explode.
Again, and guess what? When I leave state of Maine, I'm unplugging everything because you don't want to have them plugged in at that period of time when you're not even there.
Right.
So, and we've heard all the issues of batteries being plugged in and battery cars being plugged in.
Ryobi having a 250,000 mower recall because they're spontaneously catching fire.
The DeWalt early issue.
The DeWalt mower catching fire at the expo.
At the expo that they're displaying.
This is nuts.
So I go, okay, there's going to be a time and a place.
So if Honda was smart.
I'd call it insight.
What they should do is offer both options. Keep the production going on the gas mowers because clearly that's what customers are after right now.
People want it.
People want these. Yep. But at the same time, offer the battery options to those that want that. And see how that production goes before they just totally cut the cord on their gas mowers.
Yeah, proof is in the pudding because if people are willing to buy your remaining stock, right?
Buy it out.
They're trying everything. They're trying. Can you ship it in? Can you do this? Can you do that? All to their suppliers or to the retailers that are selling these things. If that's what they're trying to do, and you're selling out, and it looks good on a sales sheet that hey, they're still selling these things.
Yeah.
Whatever our remaining stock is, there's a message.
That's definitely a message.
There's a message. And if they stopped the battery operated ones, would they do the same thing?
That's a good question.
I will tell you they won't.
Yeah.
People are going to go, what's wrong with that thing? That's exactly what they're going to say.
And you're probably also going to see a significant drop in resale value in terms of the battery mowers by Honda. I bet you if you took a 10-year-old battery mower up against a 16-year-old gas mower, the gas mower will sell for more. I guarantee it.
Yep. I mean, people are always going to be wondering, you know what? You're probably getting rid of this electric one because the batteries are blown up, and they're just they can't charge.
It's too weak.
It can't. I mean, again, you remember. Where are you charging it? In Buffalo, New York, you're charging it, you're bringing those batteries in your basement. Yeah. Or inside the house, and you're trying to charge them that way for the next year or whatever the case may be. Right. And during the summer, you're charging them outside the garage. I mean, everything stays outside. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I don't worry about that kind of stuff. When I say insight, know your customer, know what they want. Exactly. Don't think you know what they want until you know what they want. That's what they teach you in business school. So if your yard is small, sure, go battery. It's easy. If you're not mechanically inclined, okay, fine, go do that. If you've got a decent sized yard, if you've got a lot of things to cut around, all that takes time. And that's going to burn battery after battery after battery. Have we created a disposable situation? Yeah, disposable, because I'm going to look at something else. I'm not going to keep buying these batteries, and I'm just not going to do it. And I think if people would recognize that, and Honda would recognize it, you have one opportunity to save that customer for 16 years using the same darn mower. Or you can say, and you know what? I'd buy another one. I would buy this one. If I had to, because it's very close. Look at the difference, it's very close. That's what I would buy. If I had to do it again, I would skip the battery.
Right, because it gave out over time.
The battery gave out. So Honda, okay, do you want a one-time purchase with all the people in the country, or do you want a multiple purchase over time, reoccurring revenue over time? Wake up. The last thing I'm going to say about it is simply this. Does the guy who made the decision to go with the battery-operated mower, did all the financial spreadsheets to say, oh yeah, we got to do that because it makes a whole lot of sense and all that kind of stuff. Does he actually use it?
That's a good question.
I will bet you that guy doesn't use it, or just simply, hey, somebody else do it.
Honda is effectively forfeiting their loyal fans.
Oh yeah, I'd buy another one.
There are so many subscribers here on Garage Gear that have reached out to me. It's probably like 6-7 messages a day that I get from subscribers saying, hey, where can I get a Honda gas-powered mower? Because they're all selling out. Everybody wants a good quality gas mower. And the problem is there's less and less and less of them all around. So what I've been telling everybody is if you're in one suburban neighborhood and there's a Home Depot, you need to look to outside towns, maybe in outside cities. So we're in Buffalo, New York, and if you can't find one here, you probably got to stretch out to Rochester, out to Syracuse. You might have to drive 2.5 hours to go find a Honda now, because this is what people want to mow with.
Have the president of the company ask the guy again who designed the electric mower, ask him again, put his job on the line. I honestly say, you know what? If I get less sales, your job is gone. See if he's still going to say...
That's the best course of action.
I'll go to my grave saying it's going to be the best course of action, buying this electric mower. Guess what?
Probably not.
He won't guarantee it.
Yep. So long story short,
I love my mower. I would buy this one next, reoccurring revenue, and I would actually buy any one of these, but this is more closest.
That's your pick?
That's my closest design.
And
so he's not getting it back.
So long story short, Honda's chasing money here. They're not chasing the longevity. They're losing loyal fans.
Chase the customer, not the money.
All right, Garage Geezer, lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. All right, first question. Which food could you eat forever without getting tired of it?
Which food?
Yeah. Which food could you eat forever?
I think apples.
Apples?
Apples.
It's actually a really super healthy choice.
I know.
It's good.
I know.
It's good.
I should have said pizza.
Pizza, yeah. Next question. Is cereal a soup? Defend your answer.
Cereal's not a soup. There's no defending.
You could, I mean, you can go a lot of ways with this.
We gotta heat it up?
I mean, technically soup is
Cold
liquid,
soup?
Right? Soup is liquid.
So is water.
Right? It's a liquid meal.
So's a
right?
coffee.
So you're just adding elements to that liquid, in this case the milk, you're putting the cereal in.
I'm not buying what you're selling. I'm not buying what you're selling.
I'm just saying. Could you consider soup?
No.
Maybe.
No.
Okay, you have one food to live with for the rest of your life. Pizza or tacos? Which one?
Pizza.
Yeah, you're always a pizza guy.
Pizza.
You would go and pick up a pizza right now if you could.
Yeah.
There you go. What are you getting on it?
Cheese, mushroom.
Cheese and mushroom. Okay. No pepperoni?
No pepperoni.
Okay.
Not pepperoni guy.
I'm standard stock. I'm like a Ninja Turtle. I'll just eat.
Standard Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
Standard stock
I'm like a Ninja Turtle. I'll eat pizza. Just give me cheese and pepperoni. I'm good. All right, Garage Geezer. Thanks for being part of this video. I hope Honda has, the time to listen to this video and see what we have to say. So thank you very much for being part of this.
I loved it. Thanks.
Cool.
And remember, if you want to be part of the tribe, subscribe for more cool Garage Gear content. Click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.